if somebody wants to grow in their respective sectors, what those practical opportunities lie. So that's where I'll be sharing the insights. What we knew 20 years today, they are not. And the whole stack ranking has changed. Yes, of course, there has been a large play of technology, but then there is also many other business imperatives that actually made this stack ranking change. Lots of new players have emerged in the world. They are actually giving lots of challenge and threat to many of these so-called biggies who actually had the largest market cap, and now it's slipping away. We are progressing around it. Just about few years back, this dream was not even discussed. Today we are marching towards it. If you will see on this, one very interesting statistic says our employment rate, which is at 387 million today, this is gonna become double, which means that there is a whole throughput of GDP per capita income, which actually is gonna touch the country in a way that the country becomes the country of buyers. So if this has become a country of buyers, then as CEOs, chairmen, and the country leaders sitting in the room, are you ready to actually make your whole production go up, make your sales force go up, make your business vision and thinking go up? If you will try figuring out the various sectors around the world, if we see the world GDP growth, it is about to grow 2.5x, approximately from 80 trillion to 258 trillion. Now, with that humongous upside, the industries which are going to participate in this, as you can see, and this is primarily from the vantage point of India, we will have lots of play in services sector. It has always been. We have been a services economy. We are known for our quality. We also are pretty much progressing on the manufacturing front, which used to be a single-digit contributor, now has come up to double-digit. The other very important area wherein lots of work investment that already has happened and is about to take a surge is the infrastructure. And besides that, the other areas which we as a country never used to ponder upon started to take shape. And those are around utility, extraction and mining, and agriculture. So this is how the participation in the economy is going to take place if one has to capitalize on the GDP growth and the India growth. Now with that, what is that 7 things that actually will get our country to that level? And if you know about it, then you know that how you actually have to think about your business and therefore take and participate in this growth. And we already have started doing. You as private sector already used to do it, but nonetheless as country also there is lots of partnership that is into play. And that partnership not only talks about policy today. If you will see, 79% of ease of doing business, we actually have risen up in terms of ease of doing business as how it used to be before. the whole finance sector. I'm not sure that how many of us are actually keeping a tab except Shanti and few of the other VC friends in the room, Kunal, Shanti, and many others. There's a huge FII inflow. There is a tremendous wealth that actually is kind of poured in the country today, and there is a huge VC funding which actually is looking at our country, how to capitalize and get the best ROI on it. Infrastructure, we are actually in the digital infrastructure today almost arguably number one when it comes to fintech, and even on the whole cyber, as much as we may not want to believe, but the truth is that we are one of the most secured countries, may not be one, but certainly ranging into 1 to 15. So if that actually brings the delight, one very other important partnership which is happening across the world with consortium, government and industry bodies around talent and labor. My friend Gaurav, Shuman, they would be talking more about it. But these are some important partnerships that's happening. Besides that, there is lots of policy ease that is under works. As much as you may want to believe with some or the other newspaper articles few weeks back that the businesses have been shut down, it is not about a stringent regulatory policies. It is about, are we doing the business right in order to add value to the country and economy and individuals. With that, not only us, the countries across are actually taking very aggressive steps, and no way we are lagging behind. We pretty much are marching along with them, if not faster, and we intend as a country to actually participate and capture that opportunity. We unfortunately also as a country have to focus on few areas wherein certain deliberations have started happening. This is the third lever, which is around social infrastructure. We arguably would be one of the best in digital infrastructure when it comes to payment. But then on social infrastructure, the other countries, they invest approximately 20% in two important categories, which is healthcare and education. We unfortunately invest between 2 to 5%, ranging to max 6%. Now, until unless that changes, though we may grow, but we may not be able to sustain that growth. Besides that, there is third sector, which as a country, many of you would be participating indirectly, few of you would be participating directly. The defense sector. Many of important countries in the world, we have some opportunity to relook at the defense budget as well. The other important lever that our country is thinking upon, and many of us in private sector already have started showcasing our mettle to the world, which is around modern technologies. But it's equally important to understand that our largest public sectors, as well as ministry, as well as the central body such as GM, such as various other important NDHM, etc., the platforms that are coming in, they leverage modern technologies. The intent to actually utilize technology to leverage the country's social infrastructure, GDP, and the well-being is tremendously high as compared to what it used to be in the past. The cyber risk, and I have few friends who will talk more about it, but cyber risk is reality. Though we would be amongst the 10th to 12th around the world to have thought about it early, but then there's miles to go. As the technology is changing, the numbers are volatile and we may slip behind if the investments around that does not go. The good news is that as a country, we are taking an equilibrium position. Few of the developed countries on data policy, they have gone extreme, wherein if you are trying to not safeguard the PII and the private data or the payment data, your businesses could be shut down overnight. And there are few industries or the few countries wherein this is very lenient. Now, either of the extremes are not good for the country and the well-being of the community of that country. And we as a country, as you know, the current GDPR policy or data policy, and now the AI policy which is under works, there is tremendous amount of equilibrium that is being thought upon, and therefore the focus has started emerging at a central ministry level, at a state level, and I'm sure at a private level. With this, you know, 7 levers that our country today is thinking, and question is that as leaders, can you participate? Now, if as leaders you participate, how to participate? You all are what, maybe 3, but then how to participate, where the opportunity lies. And that brings the contextuality of my third as sectors, how these developments look today, and therefore what it means. First, very important sector, agriculture and consumer. Can I see a raise of hands? How many of you are into agriculture? Okay, hardly 1% of the room. Now here, is that an opportunity? I leave it up to you to deliberate. But then if you see, and there are small text, so maybe just to contextualize it for you, in oil and seeds, we as a country have started thinking that how we become the exporter than a consumer. We also have pretty much comprehensive program around dairy development, and I'm sure in newspapers you would be reading about it. We also are very serious about blue economy. We call it as blue economy 2.0. You also know it from the perspective of ESG in private sector. So there is lots of work and participation that has started happening in this. The second is automotive. In automotive, if you will see the today PLI scheme and the auto components, the budget has been raised from INR 604 crores to 3.5k crores. The FAME 2, which is extended in FY25 with a budget of 2.671 crore. We also have various government focus on the EV infrastructure. I'm sure you know few of the automotive leaders sitting in the room would be participating in that journey, but this is only going to grow. Education. There is a humongous impetus on education. If we have to sustain what we are building, this is one of the most critical pillar, and there is already a budget increased by 6% to INR 1.2 lakh crores. There is also the government schools funding, which is from the Pradhan Mantri Yojana. There has been a INR 6K crore that is pretty much getting invested. With financial services, this is one of the backbone of the country, not just for India, for any country in the world. And there is a humongous impetus in terms of investment into this. Lots of investment in public sector is also happening as I speak. And in that, few of the numbers that we can think it through is that our fiscal deficit of 5.8%, which we have achieved in FY24, we intend to bring it to 5.1% to 4.5%. That is a humongous crawl back. Though the numbers may look small when you think it from your business perspective, but when it comes to country, you actually can create another Maldives around it. So with that, if you see the credit assistance, it is a 78 lakh to street vendors, that is 78 lakh crore to street vendors that actually is gonna be invested under PM Samriddhi Yojana. You also have Gift City that is getting incubated. I'm sure few of you recently would have heard about it in newspapers or television. That is going to be another very important financial hub for the country. And there is a huge infrastructure development that already is under play. The other important sector, and many of you would be participating as private businesses there, is healthcare. In healthcare, the NDHM coming in is going to be a game changer. Are we thinking about how will we participate? The whole Ayushman Bharat health coverage, which is also known as ASHA, for ASHA and Anganwadi folks, there is a humongous investment that is under plan. There is also various schemes in maternal and child health care. Though this has been a continuous endeavor as a country since we are a growing country, but this year there has been a humongous impetus and focus how to actually structurally safeguard this. So healthcare is another very important sector which is to look upon, the core for any country and where the exports and imports equation actually lie. The chemical and fertilizers. If you will see, there is an import substitution, 100 metric ton of the coal gasification, and the capacity has been announced to be set up by 2030. What it means is that we have been consumer of coal and such raw materials in the past. How can we be exporter of it? And few of you who are into this mining industry can actually think it through in terms of opportunity. There is also bio-based chemicals. There is a scheme which is actually underway and getting rolled out as I speak. The whole idea again is that how to have the financial aid available so that we become self-reliant. With that, the other very important industry is metal mining. And as you know, this is again a backbone for any country. And as a country, we are very focused on it. We pretty much in steel sector has increased our outlay by 3.6x, which actually is humongous if you see it from any other country perspective. We also have an infrastructure spending, which actually has risen by 11%, which now is 3.4% of our GDP. Infrastructure will be a big play, and primarily to support our manufacturing, mining and chemical industry. The PM Gati Shakti, as you would have heard about it, many of you into the manufacturing who has to use the road transportation. The PM Gati Shakti is gonna change the whole dimension of how you do business. As in software, we say TAT and SLA post-production. So your TAT and SLA for your product to reach to another supplier or manufacturer will come down dramatically. And think about it, if you become efficient by 20%, how much of efficiency you actually bring into your P&L. Oil and gas, very important sector, very difficult sector. But again, here there is a humongous focus. We want to be a net zero country by 2070. However, many of the countries, India also is aggressively participating into it. And with that, there is a 100 metric ton, classification, liquefaction, factory establishment, it is happening. The CNG for transport and PNG for domestic use. Many of you would have seen dramatic changes if you visit the villages for the people who have gray hairs to know happening in both CNG as well as PNG. Power and renewables. Again, this has a tie-up with net zero, and there is a humongous Panchamrit goal. If you will go through your current FY24 budget planning that has come out, it is known as Panchamrit goal, wherein ensuring high resource efficient economic growth for energy security, availability, accessibility and affordability. Triple A in software, triple A means automated, automated, automated. All failovers, automated. We also are empowering 1 crore households with 300 units monthly free electricity. No days you reflect upon, it is known as multiplier effect. If the money is poured into the market, that money circulates in the market, and the principle of economics say that if the money circulation is continuous, then only multiplier effect comes in. So this is the maths behind why this particular money is getting poured in and how this is going to create wealth. Technology, media and telecom. This some very MeitY, and MeitY has increased its budget allocation by 30%. There is a tremendous push on technology which is happening at the MeitY side. There is a corpus of INR 1 lakh crore to be established for financing the private sector with 50 years interest-free loan to scale up research and innovation in sunrise domains. So if you are not in sunrise domains, and I leave that homework to the audience, that go back and see what is sunrise domains. But if you are one of them, then this is an opportunity to capitalize. I have my dear friend Kunal, who also invests in country startup along with Anshuman and Jivesh and many others in the room, who actually are the backbone of the startup industry. Keep investing, helping them grow and add to the economy. Travel, cities, and infrastructure. This is a domain which is actually starving, but with the advent of infrastructure impetus, this is again taking a shape. The infrastructure budget has increased by 11.1% to INR 11.1 lakh crores, accounting to 3.4% of our GDP. 3.4% of our GDP means in a country. We also have Pradhan Mantri Yojana, Grameen Yojana, as you are aware about. There is a 3 crore housing units highlighted, with plans to add 2 crore more for rural housing. So there is a Yojana around it, and there is a budget allocation. And then there is activation of 517 new routes under the Udan, carrying over 1.3 crore passengers. Means whatever X that you see today in hospitality industry is gonna take shape in terms of plus 1.3 crore passengers participating in this change. With that, if I don't talk about the Gen AI opportunity, it will be a miss, as the event talks about AI possibilities. We are sitting on 120 billion of TG here. You actually can capitalize on this, as world globally is counting on this money to capitalize. 6 billion of that money has come. Many of you would be participating in that. There is a software developer productivity that is about to be touted. There is a increase in retailer conversion which is being touted. There is a reduction in biopharma research and innovation and getting the drugs to the market, which is downside by 21 days, means efficiency by 21 days. Humongous. There is a 98% accuracy rate in your financial institution, means your UPI, means I think few of the folks who are from Amazon here can understand 95N. Out of 100 transactions, 95 should pass. Now more different when it comes to money. Looking in around the world, and therefore that money what you see as an opportunity. With that, if you will see the industry, there is a CAGR of 75% of growth from now till 2027 in Gen AI that is about to get clocked. As I speak, there are real-time use cases which is getting developed in the country. 3 of them I am personally participating in terms of develop the Gen AI use case, which is gonna do the ops optimization or revenue growth for few of the largest companies which contributes to India GDP. If you will see, it is not just BFSI sector, there is also consumer, healthcare, media and public sector, which is, as I speak, is pretty much implementing or toying around, and therefore the CAGR around it on an average, if we see it at an industry, there will be a average of 50% of the CAGR uplift us, I leave you with the thought, all the leaders, the country spokesmen, the startup founders, the academicians, is it an opportunity or dilemma that we are into in spite of the world undergoing through a massive different scenario in which the business operates? Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and honor to share the insights with you today.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.
Today we are doing an innovation celebration of 31st annual Startup Award for HEIA.
Yes, so can you please tell us a little more about HEIA and its mission and its vision that they have been having over the years?
Yeah, HEIA is a 30-plus-year-old organization, and back in '91 is when it started with the industry visionaries. And in 2000 onwards, we started picking up a lot more focus on the innovation, because that's when the IT industry started developing in India. So HEIA is actually a representation of 90% of the IT industry in Telangana in terms of our members, in terms of headcount, and also in terms of the revenue generated, the export revenue that is generated from state of Telangana. Okay. So we have about 300 members, and these 300 members comprise of large companies and MNCs, the Microsoft, the top 5 of the world. They're all our members, and Microsoft, Google, Amazon, these are all the large companies that are setting up shop here. And the MNCs that are coming from India, like Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, and all these biggies, they're also our members. So together, and we have SMEs as well, and we have some startups as well. So together, these 300 members comprise of the 90% of the revenue that is coming out of export revenue that's coming out of the state, and also 90% the headcount.
Okay. So can you please tell us, over the 30 years, what kind of development have you seen in these companies and these startups?
Oh, wow. The turning point is 2000. Okay. That's when Y2K bug has hit the industry, and that really opened the doors for innovation in India. So the first decade, 2000 to 2010, is all about service outsourcing. So you saw the emergence of the Infosys, TCS of the world, and then 2010 to 2020 is all about products, right? So the services they have matured, they are still growing strong, and then the products in the 2010 to 2020, and now the products also have matured. You see the global companies from India. Now 2020 onwards, it's a era of startups, right? You have thousands of startups, and they're all coming on board, and a lot of innovation is happening. Thousands of startups are in India now, and hundreds of startups are in Hyderabad that are focusing on global markets. So that's how every decade is, belongs to services, products, now startups, and innovation.
Okay. So what exactly is the thought process that goes behind in this evaluation process that happens for these startups?
Now, specifically about today's event, it's all about encouraging innovation and celebration of the innovations. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is the 31st annual awards function that we are doing. We We received more than somewhere between 150, 200, little under 200 startups that have applied for these awards competition, and we have engaged industry stalwarts as our jurors, and we have engaged more than 50, 60, 70 of them, and we have done these evaluations in multiple rounds. The first round is an online evaluation. The second round is today. Today we are doing an offline evaluation, and the third round will be on February 14th on the event day. That's when we will announce the top 10 startups.
So can you tell us about the event that's happening on Feb 14th?
That's a mega event. It's we call it, it's a flagship event. This is the biggest event that HEIA does every year, and this year it's on Feb 14th. And this is a day on AI, artificial intelligence. What is the future for us, and how the large organizations, the startups, how they are going to be getting transformed, and how the AI is going to change the way we work, the way we live, the way we learn. So these are all the topics that we have all through the day, and these topics are all, a set of panel discussions, roundtable discussions with the CEOs of organizations, and tech talks and keynote speeches. So this happens all through the day. And the startups that are shortlisted today will all be showcasing their products in an expo fashion. So all these products, all these startups will be showcasing in a stall their products, their innovations, their services, all through the day. And towards the evening, after we do the evaluations of the startups, we go to the startup stalls and then evaluate them. We'll ask for a demo and so on. And then the top 10 will be announced in the evening. The evening, IT Minister, Honorable IT Minister will be gracing the occasion, and he will be giving away the awards in the evening. So February 14th is a mega celebration. Starts at 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, somewhere in between, and then after the inaugural, these things go on in parallel. The expo goes on in parallel, the conference traction.
That you would like to give all these?
I think the message is, you are the future. India is expected to be around 26 to 30 trillion dollars compared to $3-4 million, $3-4 trillion today. So the future that you are going to be shaping, you will all be a part of it, and that will be unimaginable future. So position yourself, think of your startup as how it is useful for the customer, how your product is differentiated from the competition, and the ecosystem is developing very well. The startups are getting funded very well by angels, VCs, and so on. So we have a great future ahead, and take the help of organizations like HEIA, and there are many other organizations as well, to either get mentors or get help in market access or funding. So we are all there here for you to succeed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
What do you have to say about initiative that they've started this, and they've been doing this for the past 30 years, if I'm not wrong?
This is the 31st year. We have been we've been making constant efforts to develop the culture of innovation. So, as a part of that, the HEIA Product Awards not only try to bring innovation for member companies to actively participate in this initiative. And this is indeed a celebration. You can actually see the number of startups that have come, and the jury is active and enthusiastic participation in that. So we believe that strongly that this is an intervention that can bring different personas to bring to one place. It's bringing the ecosystem to one place such that the people involved in innovation coming from product background, technical, business. So there are different personas. So we see this like a platform for people to, get inspiration, get inputs on what their unicorns that emerged from Hyderabad that have been identified in the past from HEIA Product Awards as well. So, yeah.
So what do you have to say over the years, the development in these startups? So what is the major change that you've seen in them?
The reason is we are now seeing that the quality of the startups that is coming up is a lot has lot improved, and they're really, it's a serious business with most of them. So in that point of view, we also felt that when the quality of the startups is coming up high, and we also have a very robust jury who could actually constructively contribute to the success of the product. So in that context, we think that this particular program that we are doing is evolving quite a bit and is positively contributing to the success of the startups and innovations from Hyderabad to a great extent, putting us on the global platform. On the Feb 14th, we also have our annual summit, where we are giving a platform for all the innovators who are now a part of our product evaluation. Give them a stage to demonstrate. They're going to have CXO capability of people coming and attending as the delegates in the summit, and it's going to be a good opportunity for all of them to interact with several organizations.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Hello, sir. Would you please tell us about your experience about the evaluation process that has been put forward?
It was a wonderful experience. I have been a jury earlier also, but this time it was even better because I was not looking at startup. Startup, of course, is great fun, but this was established products. The process was extremely good, and we were able to, the amount of time that was given for the companies to present and us to ask questions which were more relevant was quite sufficient for most of the companies. Of course, in some cases where we felt there's a huge potential, we did go beyond the stipulated time and ask them more questions, etc. That happened, but on the whole it was a good experience. All the jurors were very, very experienced, and it was good to be part of that entire team.
So over the years, and according to your experience, what is the major change that you have seen in the startups that have come forward?
So unfortunately, I was not part of the startup jury yesterday because I had another conflict. But for the established companies, if I look at it, the established companies are also coming up in newer products. Having been in the market, they are looking at new potential. So it's more of deep dive that they are doing, coming up with differentiated products. So it is not a increase or an incremental change in their own products, but they are also exploring new ideas, new products.
HEIA's contribution to this initiative that they've taken?
I think HEIA has been doing this, and this is the 31st year for them. Is tremendous. I think we work with, as Task, we work very closely with HEIA. We run initiatives like the Project Drona, etc., along with them, where we are, it's an immersive experience for the faculty members also, so that they can train our students and the youth of Telangana much better. So we are definitely doing that. And before I end, I probably would like to just give a message to all the people, saying that 14th is the main event. So I definitely look forward to coming here and looking at the actual product demos in the stalls, etc., for all the people whom we met today. And also I would like to request that anyone who is, and today technology is pervasive in everything, should come and become part of this HEIA event. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
I work for a company called Mauritech Global Enterprise Solutions Company. I'm a director of PMO. Okay. That's brief about me.
Yes. So is this your first time working as a jury for this event?
Yes.
Okay. So what would you like to say about the startups development over the years that you have seen in the industry?
Really good. I'm super happy to see the development here, the quality of the outcome, the ideas, and the solution that we are seeing is too good. And I'm really thankful to the HEIA for coordinating all such events, and really happy to be part of the jury.
What would you like to say about the process of evaluation that has been put forward for these startups?
Sure. So we typically look at the problem statement. So what is the problem statement? Would that really resolve in the customer problem? And what is the security features that they have developed? And what is the competitor analysis? What are the competitors that they have evaluated in the market, and how their solution is unique from the current competitor analysis? What are the value adds? What are the value benefits they are proposing? And how effective is the solution, and whether it is scalable or security? Those are the aspects we typically look into.
Okay. What's your take on HEIA's initiative to bring forward this for all these startups, to bring a platform for them?
It's a really great idea. I'm really thankful to HEIA for bringing this leadership, bringing the AI enablement, all that aspects together, bringing the industry leaders together, and encouraging the startups, encouraging the established companies is a really great idea. Thank you, HEIA, for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
HEIA is a joint venture of Berkshire Hathaway and Jeffrey Financial Group. They're into commercial real estate.
Yes, sir. So how long have you been part of the jury? Is this your first year, or have you done it before as well?
With HEIA, this is the first time I'm doing the jury.
Okay. So what do you think about their evaluation process that they've put for all these startups?
Yeah, evaluation process is very process oriented. Okay, they're following the right process. Okay, they are involving different type of people who are into the business, people who are part of it, the jury. Okay. And they do have experience in startups too. Some of them are already into the ventures, and they came back and they are still doing the venturing. So it's definitely the right people are involved.
So what do you have to think about these startups that are here? Like, what do you think has their standard increased or decreased over the years? And what do you think about their capabilities that they're offering?
So basically, if we see the opportunity, what they got from the startup, from the HEIA, for all the startup, it's a challenging for them. Okay, because they are contesting with other co-startups. Okay, without the HEIA, they think that they feel that they are maybe in the well, thinking that they are the right company and they can do the job. Okay, but when they compared with other companies, okay, the juries are also talking to different companies. We give that positive feedback for them. Okay, and constructive feedback. It helps them to realign themselves to the market. Okay, it's definitely a good opportunity for them.
Okay. So what do you have to say, any last message to the startups that they're competing right now?
Don't get disappointed if they're not selected. Okay, be positive and do the best. Okay, and definitely come back again for next year if they want to contest one more time. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Jobs losses due to advert of new age technology such as AI has been grabbing headlines for some time now. But do you know the same tech can be leveraged to assess the job search? Multiverse is one such startup that helps in navigating the challenges of the future workforce by helping job seekers comprehend global skill trends. To share more light on this, joining us today is Randeep Sudan, a former IAS officer and World Bank official, who is now the founder and CEO of Multiverse, a Singapore based company. Listen in.
The name multiverse is actually a word which is related to quantum physics. And there's a many worlds hypothesis in quantum physics, which talks about the possibility of there being infinite possibilities, you know. So I thought that what we are trying to do, we are trying to expand possibilities for a large number of people across the world. And there is an opportunity to afford infinite possibilities for people in terms of their career paths, in terms of their lives. And that's what inspired us to go for the word multiverse. We are focused on leveraging digital technologies for the future of work. And we find that this space is rapidly shifting. If you look at what's happening on artificial intelligence, on automation, in robotics, there will be a lot of disruption in labor markets going forward, and India will be no exception. So we need to find ways how to anticipate where the future is heading and prepare individuals and organizations for that emerging future. And this is a big challenge. It is a challenge on a global scale. It can be very disruptive in terms of society, in terms of the economy, and of course, in terms of the future of countries and individuals and organizations. So we feel that the work we are doing can have a huge societal impact. And that's why we are focusing on this particular part of connecting technology with impact. So there are governments which are actively planning for the future and getting organized for those changes. Some of the most important examples in this regard are, for example, Singapore itself. So Singapore does two things. One is it has a Center for Strategic Futures in the Prime Minister's office, which is continuously scouting for opportunities and risks for Singapore. And it does this exercise every 3 months. So in a frequent refresh cycle, they are able to get their entire higher civil service involved, and they are looking for where the shifts are happening. Also, they have established a skills future, which is focused just on preparing Singaporeans for what skills will be required going forward. And they are very much aware and very much plugged in to what is happening in labor markets. Of course, there are other countries, mostly in the developing world, which are not so active and are not anticipating the changes that are coming through. So there's a wide range of differences among governments in terms of tackling this issue. There is a need for having a dedicated organization on thinking about the future, which should, of course, thinking about the future is something which should be across the government and across the academic institutions, but somebody has to be able to organize and orchestrate this. So typically, Niti Aayog or the planning part of the government would be playing such a role, but I feel that they are not so active. For example, the top civil servants in India are not uniformly made capable to deal with strategic foresight as a discipline. Unlike Singapore, where every single senior civil servant has to have a mandatory training on futurecraft. So everybody is completely plugged in to the tools, techniques, and also to the constantly thinking about where the future is heading. I think that's a piece which is completely missing in India, number one. Number two, you need to have the analytics in place to be constantly looking at what shifts are happening in the world. Now, those analytics, I don't see any publicly available data from India where such analytics are made available to everybody that look, as compared to, say, the last quarter, these are the shifts that are taking place in the demand for skills. So that is missing. Then there is a piece which is missing in terms of creating an inventory of skills in the country, which India, is, I think, well positioned to do because we have done digital technologies at scale. So if you look at the digital public infrastructure, you look at Aadhaar, you look at UPI, you look at Diksha, the education platform. So India has done things at scale and leveraged digital technologies very well. I think one area which is ripe for disruption and where India could certainly play a role is to create a skills inventory, of the entire population. So which means that you have digital credentials which not only capture academic qualifications, but they also capture work experience, which is a little more challenging. But there are initiatives internationally where people are trying to capture experience as well. For example, the IEEE has a learning and experience records, so they're trying to develop a standard around that. So I think that if we create an inventory of skills in India, and if we are able to do the analytics on where skills are heading, then one can identify skill gaps and be able to bridge those gaps much faster in terms of adapting curriculum design to those shifts, and also providing some information to individuals and organizations as to where things are heading and where the opportunities might lie. So this needs to be done as a very dedicated and high priority item of work, which currently is, I don't see signs of that in the government. Precisely this point, that you have to deal with this emerging future of work in a holistic way. It cannot be dealt in silos. So number one is you need to understand where skills are going. So you need to have the capability to analyze on global scale what is the demand for skills and how those skills are trending. That's one capability. But when you are preparing people for the future, there is a lag between the future and what you are preparing, because you cannot completely anticipate what's going to happen, say, 3 years down the line. And you are preparing a student who's spending 3 years, say, in a graduation program. And how do you align your education system to be completely plugged into where the future is heading? So that's a challenge, for which you need to do two things. One is you need to have a better track of technologies. Where are those technologies going? What are the patents being filed? What are the VC investments in which technologies are they going? What are the science and technology publications talking about? What is the frequency of mention of various specific technologies? Also, you need to understand what is the potential employment intensity of those technologies. So say when generative AI is coming, what might be its implications for employment? So that analytics needs to be continuously done. And in addition to this, you need to reorient the education system completely in a way that is more future focused in terms of giving enduring skills to students rather than just focusing on technical skills or on a particular domain. And secondly, you also need to give more work-based learning, or work integrated learning has to be a much bigger piece of our education system. And it has to be in areas which are emergent areas so that the population is well prepared for those areas. So I feel there's a need for a major overhaul on education. There's a major overhaul required in terms of a strategic foresight, and there's a major overhaul required in terms of doing analytics on a global scale rather than just focused on India. We worked, for example, with Dun and Bradstreet, who were looking at what should be their strategy to leverage their existing data and which are the areas that they might be considering going forward. So we brought in students from international universities who worked in teams and focused on this problem. So essentially, the focus was that how could Dun& Bradstreet leverage its data to get into fintech and to connect that with SMEs, because they have those capabilities in terms of availability of data. And fintech is an emergent area where a lot of innovation is happening. And because we have a societal impact dimension hardwired into our company, so we were looking at how this might make a difference to small and medium enterprises. So we brought in these teams of students. We trained them rapidly on something called the actionable futures process, which we have designed, which is how do you systematically think about the future and then focus on this problem and then offer recommendations to Dun & Bradstreet. So our feedback from Dun & Bradstreet is that they were surprised that when they were doing a similar exercise within the company, and there were people who understand that company inside out, they've been spent years in that company. If they came up with 100 suggestions, this team of students were able to reach a level of 70 without any exposure to the company and come up with some excellent ideas. So Dun & Bradstreet thought that, yes, these people are able to bring innovation, are able to bring cutting edge thinking and come up with new ideas, which were difficult even for the, those people who were very much part of the company. So that is a proof that this is something which is important. Also, if you look at the US itself, if you look at computer science graduates, only 6% are able to get internships. So obviously, there's a need for a different model where internships have to be scaled up. And that is possible only if you do internships on a virtual sort of approach using remote internships. And if you are able to do this in a way that brings international teams to work together, because then you are not only focusing on a problem which you're trying to solve in a real world context, you are developing skills in students for doing that. But when they work across geographical boundaries with different teams, you're also promoting social and emotional learning, soft skills, communication. How do you have more cultural sensitivity? How do you work in terms of teams? How do you communicate with them? How do you adapt to time zone differences? How do you negotiate, what their ideas are and your ideas are and come to a consensus? All these are very valuable skills, which is what we are focusing on. So we typically work with, of course, organizations, because that's the starting point. The starting point is a problem that you're trying to solve. And then we work with students from different universities. So we worked with students from Ivy League, for example, Princeton, from Berkeley, from University of Michigan. We worked with Boston University students. We have worked with students from a university called Lund in Sweden. We worked with the students from Tilburg University in the Netherlands, ESCP, which is a business school in Paris. We worked with Durham in UK and with the University of Queensland in Australia. And as part of our own development of solutions, we have worked with students from the IIIT Hyderabad. So they have also worked with us, and they developed 2 MVPs for us, which itself is a test case of what value these students can bring to companies and to startups. No, absolutely. In fact, our societal impact dimension of our work would necessitate that we work with the students in developing countries. We work with tier 2, tier 3 type of institutions. But just to validate our thinking, we thought it would be good to start with this Ivy League and see, what is the value that these students can bring. And then we could be able to integrate students, say, from tier 2 or tier 3 institutions from developing countries to work with some of these Ivy League students as well. And we may realize that actually, there is a lot of innovation which those students from tier 2, tier 3 in developing countries can bring. So this is just a phase in our development, but our ultimate objective is to work with students across the world. It is absolutely necessary because there is no option there. So for example, just look at generative AI. so much has changed because of generative AI, and it has started impacting virtually every function. So unless you keep pace with that, you will not be able to compete. In many ways, survival itself will be difficult because the costing is so different. Now, just imagine, because of generative AI, there is this, Sri Lankan billionaire in the US, or rather in Canada, who's Chamath Palapithiya. He is a billionaire, but he has started an incubator which is called 8090, which means any established SaaS software, for example, they can come up to 80% of its functionality at a cost which is 90% less. So you look at the metrics that, it takes years and it takes millions of investments to come with, say, a system like SAP or a system like Salesforce. If you can do 80% of that at a cost which is 90% lower, because of what artificial intelligence and generative AI is able to bring, it will be highly disruptive to markets. We have a company in Hyderabad itself, for example, Brain Enterprises, which is getting into low code, no code type of development of solutions, and they are also able to compress the time significantly. In fact, I was talking to their one of their mentors, and he was saying that they don't have a CFO, a human CFO. It's a digital CFO. Even the CEO's function is largely done by a digital CEO. So just imagine, you can see these as weak signals. This is the starting point of what, if amplified, would be highly disruptive to companies and organizations. So there is definitely, you can see that this skilling and reskilling will become a necessity for everybody just to survive. Exactly. So you have to constantly track what is changing. You have to understand where that change is heading, and you have to extrapolate what might be the future if that change gets amplified, right? So it's a leap of imagination as well, which is, in other words, called as scenario planning. You create the scenarios that, look, if this continues on this path, or if the path shifts in a particular direction, what might that scenario look like in the future? And then you backcast from preferable scenarios and see what you need to do today. But you're absolutely right. This idea about having a degree and that just being your sort of claim to fame for the rest of your life is gone. You have to be constantly on the learning curve, constantly. So the ability to learn and unlearn becomes a critical capability which needs to be acquired and systematically practiced through your life journey. That's a big change. Yeah, so I think the educational institutions will also have to shift and adapt. So I'll give you an example. The University of South Florida is, I think they recently hired 116 people who are expert in artificial intelligence, and they're embedding AI faculty in every single department. So AI across the curriculum, is what they are trying to do. So they're adapting. They realize that AI is going to make a profound shift in education. That's one thing. You also find that technology itself might solve a problem of learning faster. Because if you look at immersive technologies, it has been established that people can learn much faster as compared to classroom-based approaches. So if I give you the example of Walmart, it was running a program using virtual reality where it could train its workers in 15 minutes what it would take workers 8 hours to be trained on. So you see the difference in terms of accelerated learning. Similarly, I think it was Verizon, which was training call center staff to handle irate customers. And that, using immersive learning, could be done much, much faster as compared to normal learning. I will give you a personal example. I visited one of the centers of excellence in Singapore, and they gave me augmented vision glasses, and they say, "Can you repair this oil rig?" I have not had any experience of oil rigs. That's the first time in my life that I'm seeing oil rig, sitting there on the floor. But with the help of glasses, it tells you what part I need to look at, what tool I need to use, in what direction I need to use that tool, and how I need to replace that particular part. Now, all that I could do without any guidance except the augmented glasses that I had. And so just imagine that there may be somebody who's a cab driver, and tomorrow you have autonomous cars, and you need to retrain that cab driver in some other area. Maybe he has to go and inspect a substation, electric substation. So some basic training, of course. I'm not saying that training is completely gone, but with these type of new technologies, and with Apple coming out with Vision Pro, which is just the starting point. What the iPhone was in 2007 and what it is today is the capability is very different. So just imagine where these technologies will go and how they will get democratized, and the price will come down with the competition. So mind will have to adapt, otherwise they will become irrelevant. Yes, so the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, they launched a global challenge called Innovate 2030. And it was a challenge, the focus was on digital for climate change. So it was in the context of climate change. And one of the challenges was to provide some ideas for the city of Porto Viejo in Ecuador as to how they could introduce smart tourism and sustainability in the city. So we proposed some solutions which looked at digital technologies, especially using technologies which are immersive technologies, using the metaverse, as a framing concept, using approaches where high value tourism could come physically to Porto Viejo, but a lot of revenues and a lot of visibility could be generated using smart technologies, especially by creating climate galleries of climate art, by promoting other assets which are sustainability oriented in the metaverse. So that set of solutions, it won us the global award from Innovate on in Innovate 2030. Yes, I'm happy that you are in this space and you are using emerging technologies to do this. So just imagine if one had to establish a media house earlier, it would be so expensive to do that. And it may not be feasible to have conversations internationally without any boundaries. But today the world is changing, and I'm happy that nimble, agile, startup oriented, highly technology focused groups are coming up like yours to change the space and democratize it, so that startups like us also will are profiled and have a voice in terms of global reach and global coverage, which is very, very useful.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartup TV.
At today's event, the 11th convocation of NIPER Hyderabad, to welcome the honorable dignitaries, today's chief guest, Shri Avnish Chawla ji, Dr. Satyanarayan Chava ji, Chairman, Board of Governors, NIPER Hyderabad, and Dr. S. Ganan Admu, Registrar, NIPER Hyderabad. Now, I would like to request Professor Shailendra Saraf sir to please felicitate our chief guest, Professor Shailendra Saraf sir, to present the annual report of NIPER Hyderabad.
On this auspicious occasion of 11th convocation of NIPER Hyderabad. On this very auspicious day, I welcome you all again at NIPER Hyderabad. And I am happy to share that the institute is ranked 1 in 2023. मैं पुनः आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Dr. Satyanarayan Chava ji, Chairman, Board of Governors, Sniper Hyderabad.
Journey of a student, the biggest day is when they join the course, when they receive the degree in the convocation. I wish all of you a great future ahead of you and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Professor Shailendra Saraf sir to exhortation for the event.
Exhortation to the recipients.
Thank you, sir. You shall take all this as the guiding philosophy of your life.
I admit you to your respective degrees and I charge you that ever in your thought and action you prove yourself worthy of the honor conferred on you.
Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean Naipar Hyderabad, will present the list of candidates who will be admitted to their degrees in absentia.
Anika Sood, she is receiving her degree in the PhD in the area of pharmacology. Geni Gacko, he is receiving the degree in the area of natural products.
I admit the candidates whose names are set out in the list to the respective degrees in absentia.
Dean Naipar Hyderabad to read out the name of the recipients of medals.
In the area of pharmaceutical analysis, Talari Sesikala. Pujita Pinjale, she is receiving her master's degree in pharmacology and toxicology. Miss Momin Alfia, she is receiving the degree in the area of regulatory toxicology.
Today's chief guest, Shri Anish Chawla ji, Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India, to kindly deliver the convocation address.
And address this distinguished gathering on the occasion of the 11th convocation of Naipar Hyderabad. Many special congratulations to all those who excelled and won the medals. As graduates of Naipar, you are well equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to meet these challenges to the pharmaceutical industry and to the growth of healthcare sector in India as a whole. Thank you, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean Naipar Hyderabad, to read out the name of the recipients of PhD degree.
Announcing the names of the successful PhD graduates of the year 2023. The first one is Miss Mekhal Priyanka Nirapada in the area of medicinal chemistry. Mr. P. Ramulu in the area of medicinal chemistry. Mr. Pawar Gaurav Bhagwan in the area of medicinal chemistry. Miss Omni in the area of medicinal chemistry.
Request Registrar Naipar Hyderabad to call out the recipients of MS MBA degree graduate from 2021 to 2023 batch. to declare the 11th convocation closed.
I declare the convocation closed.
I request the faculty to get up and face the students. And give them a big hand.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.
At today's event, the 11th convocation of NIPER Hyderabad. To welcome the honorable dignitaries, today's chief guest, Shri Anish Chawla ji, Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers, Government of India. Dr. Satyanarayan Chawla ji, Chairman, Board of Governors, NIPER Hyderabad and CEO Lawrence Lab at Hyderabad, Director NIPER Hyderabad, Professor Shailendra Saraf sir, Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean NIPER Hyderabad, and Dr. S. Ganadmu, Registrar NIPER Hyderabad. Now, I would like to request Professor Shailendra Saraf sir to please felicitate our chief guest Shri Anish Chawla ji and Dr. Satyanarayan Chawla ji with their token of appreciation. Dr. Satyanarayan Chawla ji and declare the 11th convocation open.
I declare the convocation open.
Professor Shailendra Saraf sir to present the annual report of NIPER Hyderabad.
On this auspicious occasion of 11th convocation of NIPER Hyderabad. On this very auspicious day, I welcome you all again at NIPER Hyderabad. Sir, with the kind support, guidance, encouragement, and from the Department of Pharmaceutical, NIPER Hyderabad has been making, and I am happy to share that the institute is ranked 1 in 2023. In past 1 year, मैं पुनः आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं. धन्यवाद. जय हिंद. नमस्कार.
I would like to invite Dr. Satyanarayan Chawla ji, Chairman, Board of Governors, NIPER Hyderabad.
Journey of a student, the biggest day is when they join the course, when they receive the degree in the convocation. I will also help the nation in a big way. And at this juncture, I wish all of you a great future ahead of you and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Director NIPER Hyderabad, Professor Shailendra Saraf sir to please administer exhortation for the event.
I call upon you to administer the exhortation to the recipients.
Thank you, sir. Neglect of prosperity. Let there be no neglect of learning and teaching. Should be given with modesty and should be given with sympathy. You shall take all this as the guiding philosophy of your life.
I admit you to your respective degrees and I charge you that ever in your thought and action you prove yourself worthy of the honor conferred on you.
Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean NIPER Hyderabad, will present the list of candidates who will be admitted to their degrees in absentia.
Anika Sood, she is receiving her degree in the PhD in the area of pharmacology. Sai Nagajyoti, she is receiving the degree in the area of pharmaceutics. Shiva Nageshwarrao Gajula, he is receiving his PhD degree in the area of pharmaceutical analysis. And Jiaur Rahman, he is receiving PhD degree in the area of pharmacology. Then I read out the names of the master's students. Harsh Dwivedi, he is receiving the degree in the area of medicinal chemistry. Sulai MR, she is receiving the degree medicinal chemistry area. And Padmashri Naren, she is receiving the degree in the area of pharmacology and toxicology. Harichandar Reddy, so he is receiving the degree in the area of regulatory toxicology. Rachana Yadav, he is receiving the degree in the area of regulatory toxicology. Supriya Behera, she is receiving the degree in the area of regulatory toxicology. And finally, Geni Gacko, he is receiving the degree in the area of natural products.
As the Chairman, Board of Governors, Sniper Hyderabad, I admit the candidates whose names are set out in the list to the respective degrees in absentia.
Medal distribution ceremony, I request today's chief guest, Shri Arnish Chawla ji, to confer medal to the meritorious recipients. I also request Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean Naipur Hyderabad, to read out the name of the recipients of medals.
In the area of pharmaceutical analysis, Talari Sesikala. Pujita Pinjale, she is receiving her master's degree in pharmacology and toxicology. Miss Momin Alfia, she is receiving the degree in the area of regulatory toxicology. Mr. Naitik Jain, he is receiving the degree in the area of pharmaceutics. Miss Damare Rutuja in the area of natural products. Miss Kritinga Devi, she is receiving the gold medal in the area of regulatory affairs. Miss Karina Sinha, she is receiving her MTech degree in the pharmaceutical technology process chemistry. Miss Mansi Srivastava, she is receiving her gold medal in pharmaceutical management. Miss Adhav Snehal, she is receiving her gold medal in the area of medical devices.
Today's chief guest, Shri Arnish Chawla ji, Secretary, Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India, to kindly deliver the convocation address.
And address this distinguished gathering on the occasion of the 11th convocation of Naipur Hyderabad. Many special congratulations to all those who excelled and won the medals, to the pharmaceutical industry and to the growth of healthcare sector.
Professor Srinivas Nanduri, Dean Naipur Hyderabad, to read out the name of the recipients of PhD degree.
Announcing the names of the successful PhD graduates of the year 2023. The first one is Miss Mekal Priyanka Nirapada in the area of medicinal chemistry. Mr. P. Ramulu in the area of medicinal chemistry. Mr. Pawar Gaurav Bhagwan in the area of medicinal chemistry. Miss Omni Ojisvita in the area of medicinal chemistry.
Request Registrar Naipur Hyderabad to call out the name of the recipients of MS, MTech, MBA degree graduate from 2021 to 2023 batch. Now I request Dr. Satyanarayan Chabaji to declare the 11th convocation closed.
I declare the convocation closed.
I request the faculty to get up and face the students. And give them a big hand.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
I'm Ganesh. I head marketing for Narwal. It's a great initiative. I've known Vinuta for almost 5 years now. I hope that partnering with Vinuta and trying to create some sort of program. So as an organization, as Narwal, we are very happy to be associated with her. And all the best to Vinuta for her future endeavors.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
This is Murli Krishna Gunturu. I'm a principal at Inflexor Ventures. I have known Vinita for the past 15 years now. I know that this has been a long-standing dream for her. She thought about this, conceptualized this about 10 years back, but I'm glad that it's finally coming to fruition today. I wish her all the best on the launch of the funding office. I think funding office is a great initiative by Vinita. Her experience over the last 10 years in the ecosystem, working with various kind of organizations, whether it is funds, incubators, accelerators, and in ecosystem will greatly help entrepreneurs who are studying right now and wanting to do something. I know that she'll be able to guide them very well in terms of compliances, which probably are the least focused activity in early stage ventures, and also it will also help early stage investors in helping them source startups, good startups, and also put in place processes for the startups they have already invested in. I wish her all the best for the initiative.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
Hi, I'm Neerja. I'm Director and Head of Operations for HEIA, one of the oldest IT and IT industry associations of the state. Very happy to be part of this event today, and congratulations to Vinita, who has been a staunch supporter of the product ecosystem in Hyderabad for a very long time. She has been partnering with HEIA for our annual product awards maybe since 2007. So she has been part of the startup ecosystem, the product ecosystem for a very long time, and I wish her best for this new endeavor. Congratulations to Vinita.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
By Vinita Ralapalli. On this day of housewarming of the funding office, I wish Vinita Ralapalli a grand success, and we would hope, and I'm not having any hesitation to say, that the funding office will do the great job of bringing funders and founders together and enable them with that much lacking preparedness when they do these meetings and finalize their deals. All the best, Vinita, and funding office.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.
Telangana ecosystem that we have here, setting up this startup ecosystem. What do we do? So, right from inception, startup has all of the techies, they don't understand the compliances or the accounting side of things. They're as scared of it as I'm scared of deep technology. So I totally get it. Right? So how do we hold their hand right from incorporation all the way to say their audits? So that is one step. Of course, we are there with them, helping them out with all of their regular compliances, ensuring that there are no major compliance issues. The second thing is the financial analysis and modeling and valuation again. The third part we are doing, and pitch perfection and negotiation. We are there on the table with them while they are doing their term sheet negotiation. So for incubators, while I was working on this thought process for startups, I have had an opportunity during my time in T-Hub to build this program for incubators. Fund management is the other thing that this was a very recent idea. I've been talking to a lot of incubators and they all have this SISFS funding now. So these are the broad areas in which we are planning to work. So this was basically to set the tone and launch this officially.
So really we've been ideating on this for probably a couple of years. It's taken shape and I'm really proud of this journey and very happy to be a part of it. I think it's wonderful that T-Fund is doing more of those than elevates all these startups.
There are many startups which need something like this, focused on tech, right? And they're focused on the product that they're building. Vinita's experience as a chartered accountant with startups over the last 10 years helpful for them.
And I'm super confident actually that the funding office, with all those right reasons that you just explained, and also the ecosystem, I'm sure, which is supporting the funding office, I'm super confident that it will scale to greater heights. And I wish and I hope and I say that you will do well with the funding office this time.
I think we need to work with the family offices, the pharmaceutical, mobilize funding from family offices in India. I think that would be, so there's a task for you. So, so let's do it. I think we all need to pitch in, and thanks for calling me.
It's a startup, right? It's going to have ups and downs. It's not going to be a straight path. A lot of the startups that we have need your help. You've got the support of everybody in this room. Say something about who you've been in the ecosystem too.
So we are only partnering with a few SaaS product-based organizations, and we are developing a wireless charging solution for them. So it's a pure product-based organization. We are located in Hyderabad, in Kondapur. Yeah, we started last year.
Starting something I had to be part of it, whatever we are doing together, right? So both of them are amazing individuals in terms of how they have actually built their startup.
I think it's a really very good opportunity for all the startups. So we are a pure IT service company. So basically we work mostly in Pega. It's a BPM product, and we are also working on other low-code, no-code tools over there.
So in this generative AI world, so we basically have put a basic version on ChatGPT. So basically it's your virtual venture capitalist with whom you can practice pitching.
First, I remember the line today, it's like, you'll never get what you want. So it's a one line which I read long time back, because she always wanted this to happen, because we always listened the last two letters whenever we went to investors. So we always wanted these three letters to be there to protect us. So hope this will be a great design, Freddie.
She's been a friend for almost 10 years. And we all know how serious and how encouraging she is all the time. This has been a long dream for her from last 3 years, I think so. And we've been discussing this, and I think this is time for you.
A lot of startup founders would align with the point that they'd love to be surrounded with the people discuss a lot of ideas and visions and what's happening around the ecosystem. So Vinita is front seat of such people.
When I started my startup, I had already 25 years of global sales experience. I worked with multinational companies like SAP and all of that. So you come with that. But my experience with Vinita, particularly with Vadwani, whatever we have done, it tells us many things which you don't know, because as a founder, we believe in our ideas so much. I really hope many of the people come and share from your experience, learn from your experience, and you can also contribute to their success.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
I've been working with the Hyderabad startup ecosystem for over a decade now. Over the years, I've worked across ecosystem development and investments. And it always concerned me that there was no easier way that investors and startups meet, or startups are more well prepared for an investor meeting, or investors have the right kind of deals coming to them. This is when actually the funding office has taken shape in my head. And over the last 2 years, I've worked on this idea while I was doing my other roles. I have worked deeply on what are the services that would make it worth a startup's time to work with us. What can make their journey easier end to end. So here we are giving a host of services for an early stage startup, right from their compliances to their audits. We would be doing the entire gamut of compliance mastery, as we call it. And on the second part, which is basically where my expertise lies, is how much does a startup raise and where do they raise it from, and how long should they look for a runway. These are questions that every startup needs to answer to be able to figure out what is the right capital structure that they should go for. These are the questions that I wanted to give support to my startups here in Hyderabad. That is where the financial wizardry, or the second part, which is advisory bit, comes in. And the third part is actually making these connects. Every investor has his or her own thesis with which they invest. So there's a lot of resentment from the startup side that the investors are not investing in them. But from the investors' side, of course, they are taking money from other LPs and they have their own obligations. So how do we navigate this world, make them speak each other's language in a more comfortable way? That is the endeavor the funding office has started with. Of course, along the way, I have found other opportunities to work with incubators. I've observed that there are a lot of gaps even in the incubators. For example, a lot of tech incubators do not have the bandwidth with respect to supporting their entrepreneurs on the funding side of things. So that is where we will augment, or we will support them in their journey. Any incubator can reach out to us and we can support them to understand their portfolio in more detail, help them reach the right investors. Apart from this, we do complete programs. The investment readiness program is something that we've developed in-house, and we could deliver that to you too. Apart from this, there are a lot of seed funds that are available with various incubators whose management is a challenge in itself, right? From sourcing the correct startups or innovators to fund, to finally actually managing the portfolio. So there's again a huge gamut of services that we can support incubators with. Of course, and the third bit is our funds or investors or corporates. A lot of investors have a little bit of a hassle, mainly the early stage investors have some trouble in finding the right kind of deals. So here we are, your sourcing partners. And even with respect to portfolio management, the smaller funds do not have a full-fledged team to do portfolio management. So there are bits that we can come in and support you while you are, out there investing into the startups. So these are some of the areas that we are going to work deeply in. We will, of course, be entirely focused on startups to begin with. So the Hyderabad ecosystem, though we have done some massive strides with respect to how we built the infrastructure. Look at the place that I'm currently standing in. T-Hub has been an amazing place for startups. While we are doing extremely well with respect to the infrastructure, very well with respect to the talent pool availability, to some extent even mentorship. With respect to financial support, whether the startup needs a debt or whether they need equity, the kind of support that they need with respect to how much to raise, where to raise, that is missing in the ecosystem. The kind of unbiased advisory is missing. So that is another piece that we definitely are very keen about.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Today's event opens up that we are in the process of building a mega fund, and all credit goes to Jay Chaudhary and team. It's a fantastic concept. India will be a kind of a source for a lot of global startups to come, look at for funding, mentoring, starting their initiatives in India and create employment for the local. There's a huge opportunity. I thank Jay Chaudhary for initiating this. It's going to go a long way, and India will be positioned as a global startup hub with our strengths that we are going to offer in future.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see all the investors to come to this event. In fact, many of them like Dr. Ravindra Chaudhary and N.T. Chaudhary, they all agreed to put more money, 100 crores, 50 crores kind of money they're investing. That means they're seeing that Succeed Innovation Fund, we are doing very well as a fund. In addition to that, as you asked India Startup Foundation, what we have done so far, it's only 1 year story. In 1 year, thousands of startups came to our ISF platform, and all of them are becoming successful. Then afterwards, I was talking to Balaji Reddy, why can't we create the Y Combinator plus in India? Because India is a big market today. Where is the market in America? Where is the market in China? Where is the market in other European countries? India is a big market. And all the startups across the pan-India, now they're growing exponentially. So we want to catch this wave when it is rising. And that's where me and Vamsiram Builders were trying to set up ultra-modern Y Combinator plus with the funding, with the mentoring, with the market access. All that is going to come. And initially it will be in Hyderabad. Afterwards we will extend this facility to other cities like Bangalore, Pune, Delhi and all that. Our aim is whoever comes to our whatever the ecosystem, they have to be successful. Once they come into our fold, automatically the valuation should go up and their more customers should call on them, and that is the kind of thing we are planning to do. And all the elements like Venture Studio will be there, maybe a Shark Tank kind of a facility also we are planning to have. More importantly, most of the startups, they die without having the business. So for business, how do they get the business? We are going to have the experts who are good in European market, good in the American market, good in the Australian market, good in the Indian market. They will guide them which are those companies, how they can navigate and get new customers. I think customer access is going to be the key thing which we are going to establish here, and we are going to create many successful startups. Many of them are going to become $1 billion companies. More than the money, they are going to create a lot of jobs for this great nation. That is the project that is going to be ISF plus, which we will be launching in the new year 2024. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
I'm Dr. Ravindranath, Chairman of Global University Foundation. This is a university for health, life sciences, technology, and innovation. One of the very specialized university focused on innovation to democratize the healthcare for India. As part of this university, innovation is the central pillar. As part of that, we announced today Innovation Fund along with the Succeed. The like-minded people, including me, are going to fund this. This Innovation Fund will definitely help technology innovations in healthcare, life sciences. You all know India is a large country with a 1.4 billion population. The current way of increasing healthcare costs we can't afford. No matter how many trillions we become, it's a distant possibility of 100% affordability of healthcare in this country. The only way is to democratize healthcare. The only way we can democratize healthcare is bringing healthcare costs down by innovations in our own country for our own people. So there are many, both health and life sciences. Health and life sciences put together, innovations using technology can bring down the cost. The many areas like preventive health care is the very, very important area. Then proactive diagnosis and before the disease onset. Also, curative health care also can be reduced, costs can be reduced because today we are importing huge amounts of devices, implants, materials and medicines. All that can be done in this country. I have to say hats off to our pharma industry, which has reduced the cost of medicines in this country. That's why we are able to afford even today what we are doing. Same way we should do in devices, in implants, and in disposables. So if we can do all these things, the cost can be reduced by at least 30-40%. Same way, technology. Using technology, we can have an early diagnosis, so we can bring down the cost of healthcare significantly. So we don't need to spend huge money on curative healthcare. So all these things are actually, if you look at it today, one of the major costs, major reason for indebtedness of our middle class and becoming bankrupt is healthcare. One of the family member becoming ill due to serious illness, the whole family becomes bankrupt. This government is aware of that. I think it's very important. Government, private sector, innovation, whoever is involved in innovation, healthcare, everybody should get along with a support funding. It's possible in the next decade or so we can achieve significant progress in affordable healthcare in this country. That's what we need in this country. Democratizing healthcare is the mantra for future. Because healthcare and education are the two eyes of this nation. And that's why we have to focus on these two areas. Government has to support in these areas. Government has to liberalize all the rules and regulations and help the nation to build very good ecosystem for innovations in the country so that we can democratize healthcare. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Krishna Kadragadda, consultant pulmonologist at Gleneagles Luckily Couple. I'm here with Angels Investors. Thanks to Dr. J. Chaudhary Garu for getting me here. So we got interested in AI in healthcare with some devices which make our lives much more easier. And if technology could help our sisters and doctors to specialists who are more specialized in caring for the patients when they're unable to be there, it would deliver better care to our patients who are in the ICU or who are in the wards. So that's how AI could connect junior doctors and senior doctors better. If I'm not even in my OPD, AI could connect my patients' breath sounds to me. This is the possibility I saw with AI and startups. So that's the reason I'm here with angel investors. That's how we got into this. Would like to contribute better with ideas and with mentoring other startups, especially healthcare startups. Thank you.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
So I've been part of ISF for the last 9 months. We conducted the largest investor event in Bangalore, Madanhalli. And before that, we did a series of Investor Connect events. One in Bangalore, one in Hyderabad, one in Pune, and we have a host of events coming up in the future. So, if you're a startup and you're looking for funding, you're looking for mentoring, you're looking for industry connect, this is the place you want to go to. Come register and make the best use of ISF as a platform to grow your business, to scale your business.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Hari Subramanian, represent Colruyt Group, and we also do investments through our Chorus investment vehicle. So we are a Belgian headquartered company. So we already have made quite a bit of investments here in India. I'm happy to be part of the ISF. So I truly see there's an opportunity where we can take our startup founders and give them market access in Belgium, preferably because that's where we have a lot of connect in that. So looking forward to find a way how I can play a role to help the society.
Subscribe to MyStartuptv.
The India Startup Foundation, we are helping many startups who are coming, particularly early stage startups. They struggle a lot, not only for the funding, but more importantly for the market access. In fact, we want to help a lot of youngsters like Nikhil. Nikhil has got a gaming company. He's based out of Mumbai, but though he has got the funding, he wants to get more business. That's when he'll make a revenue positive. Till today, he's still not able to get into the revenue positive. Not only within India, even outside the country also expose them to those markets. So we definitely, Nikhil, whatever you are doing in it's called Mumbai Mumbai Gullies. Very innovative startup Nikhil has started. It's called Mumbai Gullies. In fact, all the real estate people can actually advertise in his game. It's a gamified model. So, but particularly for Hyderabad, so all the real estate companies, commercial or residential, they are looking for this kind of opportunity. When the people or youngsters are playing the game, they see, okay, Commercial Builders is building nice infrastructure and all that this thing. So it's good for them. And also good for him also, because he gets a lot of ad revenues and all that. So that's where now I told Nikhil that not only within India, every city after Mumbai Gullies, Hyderabad Gullies also you can have, and Chennai Gullies also you can have, Bangalore Gullies also you can have. So lot of opportunities within India itself. Then we'll take to global. He can have a Paris Gully, Sydney Gullies, or California Gullies, or New York Gullies. All that we will, wherever ISF is going, we are going to promote Nikhil. So Nikhil, how do you want to take this opportunity?
First of all, thank you very much, sir. When I came to this event, you were the first person I met, and you were very warm and cordial towards us. Thank you very much for the kind words, and that is exactly, you got the vision exactly right, you know, because that's what we are trying to do with Mumbai Gullies. Is get all the brands. Mumbai is a global city. Of course, India has a lot of interesting cities and cultures that we can showcase out in the international world. So that's the market that we want to capture first. We want to tell stories from India, and that also poses a great opportunity for advertisers, as you mentioned. So it's great that, you know, we got to meet each other, and I'm looking forward to this association as a long-term association. So thank you very much for all the help and support that you promised today.
Nikhil, while you are helping the real estate players and other players, I want you also to help our startup companies.
Yeah.
Each Mumbai itself, a lot of startups are there.
Right.
In Mumbai Gullies, you identify who are the startup companies. You give them the visibility through your game. Similarly, when you come to Hyderabad Gullies, here also umpty number of startups are there. I think while helping the startups, you also help yourself, and it's a great service to the society, and also you make your money. It's a great concept. We are with you. We'll make sure that you become successful in the international arena. So I wish Nikhil and his company all the best, and make sure that one of our ISF companies to become global, and he'll become a multi-billion-dollar company with the help of India Startup Foundation. All the best, Nikhil.
Thank you very much, Dr. J. Chaudhary, sir. Thank you very much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
second and level stage of building it.
Stay informed about the startup ecosystem. Subscribe to My Startup TV.
Yeah, my name is Embark. I'm from Software Corporation, Alpha, Georgia. We do product related to offenders management system in US for US jails. So when the offender was released by a justice or a court to the outside on a parole or a bail, so we continuously track his location. So for that, now we replaced the ankle bracelet with a smartwatch, based smartwatch, so which gives the continuous location of offender and his activities continuously. So that is what now our product and the service also for the child management system. Any person who wears ankle monitor, probably he may be with a social stigma, maybe that some other will observe that he runs something like that. So whereas this smartwatch is in a regular kind of scope of some algorithms enhance the product or thank you.
Stay informed about the startup ecosystem. Subscribe to My Startup TV.
My name is Punanka.
stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.
Community.
Stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.
Hi, my name is Chaudhary Wanga. Foundation. And also, of course, a group of teams, and this like we are also but we are evolving because with we have got start for as not we're not an event. live in London and organizing and honored. I always say in my eligible days I used to say because already see how he that way that we carry forward. And coming back to experience, yes, succeed. Honestly, some of them has been also up to ISF, trying to bring in some data funds through ISF. Still in India, how to get jobs, how the company should come here, and more importantly, what is enable them, not what the right direction with the thought. Today we have analytic the room. This is what I said. Uniqueness that's happening. I wish everyone to join our organization. Only about so we are trying to do that. And more, always say, just have a that's
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
Welcome to
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.
So we started the journey. We want to help the ecosystem. See, funding, there are a lot of businesses there, a lot of peace, a lot of angel for a lot of people are doing. But if companies are successful, there is a problem. That's where being that very high quality and holding those companies, see that they are all successful. That is why we named this fund the Succeed in all these where we are investing, who we are mentoring, they have to be successful. The Silicon Valley model of VC investment, only 1 out of 10, they are successful. We are already reversing that. 9 out of 10 are going to be successful already. Many of them are successful in the journey. So I want to thank all our limited partners, all our investors who, have a lot of faith in us that we are going to not only give the back, but many right 24 to see that whatever they invested with us, that money we want to return with good multiples. The path is on the way. In addition to that, I want to particularly thank some of our I don't know how many people are aware. In that we request the presence of Dr. Ravindranath Chaudhary. So Dr. Ravindranath Chaudhary, after selling global hospitals, trust modern university research university in the innovation facility. So here have a 100 crore daughter fund, health tech, life sciences, and healthcare and medtech. These are the areas that focus is to be under as a lot comes from my agreed to put 50 crores as a daughter fund. So why, I mean, so many people want to invest with Succeed, because as I mentioned to you, we want to make sure that all the startups where we are investing, we want to make sure that they're going to be successful. So I request Sachan Garu, who is the chairman for the to
early investment funds are doing. Capital inflow in Indian startups is expected to number of Indian startups from year by year, they are the numbers, how many investors are supporting the Indian startups and the innovation in the tech side. We have sector focus of sector this year on the digital economy and emerging technology. Our focus is early stage funds, deep tech companies solving Indian problems. We started with 100 fund. We have increased the funds to 300 crores. We are doing 2.03x. If you see, we have invested 3.5 kind of a multiple. So all your money, all your based on the support from money to help us in evaluate the we have done well. And we are still we are only third in the above. These are the highlights how you have done till some of 15 is the number. We have funded portfolio companies. We have done 16 follow-on rounds in them. We have invested around 60 crores so far and continue to invest in this year. 300 crore kind of fund is by our portfolio company. Combined value of our portfolio company is 100 data which has been done all across in India, starting to give all every day 24 by 7 and all of us support them in past we went through a triple IT sequence of the innovation fund also created the
moving towards